I didn't see you there. Welcome to this week's episode of Hex Presents with your host, horror filmmaker extraordinaire, Lawrie Brewster. Now, recently on Hex Presents, we've been going through some of my very early short films, mainly to destroy my ego and to give me a stronger sense of humility, I think. There are some really interesting notes, though, and things to learn from some of my early short films, because even for myself, they are what gave me a full-time career as a film producer. Helped pay the bills. They feature my own artistic explorations and lessons learned, and this week is no exception. We have a very experimental short film called Rostov. At the time, I was just really obsessed with the Soviet Union and all these cool old Russian costumes and things that we had. And like any boy with toys, I wanted to play. so what did I do? Well, and bearing in mind, this is a good few years ago now. This is right at the start. I wanted to make an improvised film. I was fascinated by, and still am actually, by improvisation and documentary style cinematography, all in a narrative framework. And I've always been very interested in psychology as well. So this was a very interesting experiment in which I gathered a group of students from an acting college and had them play Soviet soldiers on a mission to supposedly rescue civilians that had been affected by an industrial accident. What we learn in the reality is that they're not really rescuing them at all, and that these characters will be ordered to execute survivors as part of a cover-up. As they get closer to the location where this accident has happened, they one by one become affected by psychological or psychic phenomena that makes them behave erratically and even violently, with, well, I guess you could say horrifying consequences. Now, when I was devising this short film, I wrote character biographies for each of the different actors. And they were fairly in-depth. They had backstories and points. And importantly, the characters didn't really know anything about each other. When I took the group of students to a forest where we were filming this, we actually filmed for hours and hours and hours, and with two cameras, and they were separate. So the group at that time split up. But in an attempt to direct the action, I, as director, was also a character that was in charge. And I play an absolute asshole. And the psychological experiment really was this. At what point would the characters question my authority, since I was effectively leading them to commit things that were against their moral nature, as executing innocent people, and then eventually leading them to their deaths as we got closer and closer. People were going crazy and killing themselves. You know, at what point would they stop under the auspices of authority? And, well, you'll see the consequences in the film, and it was very interesting. In terms of the phenomena that would affect them, people going mad, these folks would be randomly selected, and the condition or symptom they would have would be randomly determined through written tables that I'd produced in advance. So it was planned, but also completely random. It could be one of my best actors that got affected, or one of my worst, you know, but all of them were students. And bear that in mind when you watch this. There are some moments that are quite effective and interesting, and other times it's quite cheesy and silly because they're just students. But there is one scene in particular that I think is really quite traumatizing. And I will say that after the film was completed, the students were quite traumatized by the experience, and many of them could not disassociate my performance as or my character from myself. And it had a permanent effect on my relationship with many of them, that they kind of saw in me that character that I play in this film, who's completely repugnant compared to, well, my divine self. So, so a very interesting experiment, and not necessarily a completely successful one, but there are points that are successful. And it's something that I hope in future to explore with, I guess you could say, professional actors and with all the resources of a feature film. So anyway, I hope you enjoy, and I shall say good luck.
Search and rescue operation for workers at the Rostov Psychiatric Center for Military Research. Immediately afterwards, all contact between them and all surrounding villages was lost via a prototype radio telephone supplied by NKVD.
I've been asked to accompany this mission to ensure that the Red Army conducts it thoroughly.
Sir, Dmitry Turnov, radio man. Sir, Philip Janenko.
Sir, Pavlov Mina, medic.
Kola Aretsky, sir.
Trying to do an impression of the Tsar.
With respect,
With
my
no
men.
respect. With no respect.
Grisha Udusman, sir.
Gypsy name.
Is that relevant?
Well, that means you can make me some bootlaces later.
Corporal
Corporal, yes.
Labushkin, sir. I was assigned by the NKVD to document this mission.
Okay men, let's just take a break. Can you tune into the other teams please, see if there's any news?
Squad 1. Squad 1, report. Miles from the research centre, sir.
Could be a piece of shit for all I know. But orders are orders. All the teams have them.
I seem to have quite a relaxed manner with my men and that disturbs me.
These are my orders.
Well, I can see why this was kept quiet from the beginning.
I'll keep an eye on the captain. I'll keep an eye on the intelligence officer.
All this pish about Rostov. What's with all the questions as well, eh? What was your brief? I'm just here to film it, okay? It's for the higher-ups to enjoy, okay? So back off.
There were NKVD guard units that are supposed to be coming here.
Okay, everyone form up behind me. Your mother's
Split up into 3 groups. Remember, be careful.
You 3, you 2 with me.
Okay, everybody move out!
Okay.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in a small village called Sokonuk. Do you think in heaven God forgives you for all your sins? There was a food shortage and people starved to death. People turned to cannibalism.
To answer your question, is there a God in heaven? From your own point of view, why not believe there is? You're still here, aren't you?
Come on, come on.
What's your name?
Identify yourself.
I'm Nikolai Lutov. Last thing I remember is a loud noise. Did you see Natasha?
Natasha? Who's Natasha?
A woman I'm with. Maybe she was the whining sound who knocked you out and left you here. Natasha has the voice of an angel.
Have you seen soldiers coming by here? Have you seen any dead soldiers? What kind of activity are you involved in?
A sharp whining noise. It got louder and louder until the sound was so deafening that it...
And there. Sergeant, have the men form a firing line immediately.
Corporal!
What have I done?
This isn't on the agenda.
Fucking cameraman, put it off.
Orders.
Just find him lying on the ground. He says the last thing he remembers is a bang. A bang? And not a bang, a line.
I need to find out about the other team's radio.
Squad 4 report. There's a pillar of smoke, sir. Found an old woman's body. Squad 5.
Nothing.
It's dead, sir.
Piece of shit. You're going to tell me what's going on.
What I'm asking you to do is to continue your search whilst you allow me and another soldier to interrogate the prisoner. Sorry, Nicholas! Over here. You, boy! The NKVD will want to see this.
A village not far from here. My father works on a farm.
Get on your knees now.
Jesus. It was a sharp, high frequency, loud, deafening loud. But it was short to begin with, like I barely heard it. And then...
Get up, scum!
Your life will end, but as soon as your use ends, so does your life.
Captain, you want me to get this?
Should we shoot him?
It's a woman. It's a woman.
Yeah, you go.
Keep your hands where we can see them.
What's your name? Natasha. He was talking about earlier. The young boy. Nikolai. She's not gonna harm anybody. She's shaking.
Something has happened, but we need to find out what.
This centre, have you ever seen it?
No. He was gonna shoot him!
I think we have to look after the girl.
Screeching.
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 Screeching, just like the boy.
What if-
point a gun at her?
The commissar acts the same way as he did with
Put your gun down.
the other young man.
He won't,
How do you know that?
because if he does, I'll shoot him.
Captain, I see you have another guest.
Another guest.
Natasha?
What is your name?
You don't have to frighten her.
Does she not? Do you recognise this?
This is Natasha.
What is your name?
She's scared. Maybe you don't know what fears.
Sure.
What? No!
You bastard!
Captain, he confessed to his crime. Of national security, no chances can be taken.
Fuck national security!
You bastard!
In line.
Corporal, move! You better start answering questions if you want to live.
Squad 2! Squad 2! Captain, they've gone. Squad 4! Squad 4, report! Jesus fucking... Captain,
What the fuck happened?
they went dead, sir. There were screams, I don't...
The boy came how it began. It will continue with the girl. My orders from the NKVD are to ensure that anyone that can cause any damage to our national security as a matter of the incident that has occurred is and can legally be executed. You saw the same order. You saw the same order. Sergeant, sir, form a firing line. We'll bring up the girl.
Sorry.
Why can't you show us the evidence of what they've done?
Right, firing line! Oh, we can't. She's not armed. We can't kill her. She's innocent.
Medic, get the fucking way.
What if I said no?
There was no choice in the matter. It had to be done. What's wrong with that fucking medic? Huh? 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 Think you lost some child or something?
Obviously you don't give a shit, do
What
you?
about the other teams?
Captain.
There were screams on the radio. What are we supposed to do about them?
There will be smoke on that horizon.
All the teams are gone, sir.
Sir.
Okay, let's proceed.
Right, everyone, form up. We're moving out. Let's go.
This is fucking bullshit. Look up his feet. This is our captain.
Look up there, Captain. Common smoke.
Take a break.
Okay.
A break now? We're getting so close.
I say, why take a chance?
Tell by their faces they were lying. Whether they were lying or not, goes against what the captain said. This is life. You just live to die. It's not life, it's death. Life, death, same thing. Thin line. Get used to it. Dimitri, what did they say? What did you hear? Screams.
I know! An innocent child when I see one. I know! I've been a mother, I know!
9 groups out here. At least 4 of them have gone missing.
They all knew what they were signing up for. They knew it was a possibility they could die.
Did they?
Fuck.
I don't like him.
Whoa.
Something about him.
Put the weapon down. What's this all about?
It's gonna fucking betray us any fucking second now.
Sergeant, where have you come up with this? Just calm down.
Keep his distance!
Just calm down!
Simon, Sergeant.
Just calm down.
Fuck this shit!
Jesus Christ!
My God!
All died.
Is he dead?
Yes.
Just the way it was his eyes.
Oi,
The whole thing.
Private.
Fucks up with him. My eyes.
Sure.
You okay?
My eyes.
He's ripped out his eyes! Medic! Medic,
His
report.
eyes.
Put him out of his misery.
What would...
No.
Get out of here!
What? Captain, what do we do?
I don't know! Help me!
Come on, somebody, try and contain the blood.
Private.
This isn't right.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
You're gonna do it, sir.
Who is that?
Medic, go.
Help me!
You go, medic.
Where am I? Where am I?
Name.
Lena, we were on our way to the Rostov, the clinic, the research clinic.
What do you do? What is your rank? What's your job?
I'm a secretary. There was
What
a
caused you
buzzer.
to crash?
The whining noise, it got bigger and bigger and
Here's this
bigger.
whining again.
I see one of my privates turn a gun
There's no
on one of his colleagues.
need
I see
to
another
check.
one tear his eyes out. What am I supposed to do?
Look, bodies.
One of them's alive.
Alive.
She'll have to come with us.
She has to be interrogated like the rest, Captain.
Private. Private.
Sergeant. 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 Shoot him.
Captain.
What's going on?
Help! Somebody help!
Ah, you fucking listen to me!
Captain. Take out the video.
Get me away! What's going on? What's happening?
Fucking
What's
minds.
happening? Don't listen to this!
It's barely a whisper.
Are you getting anything?
It's not a radio. What do you mean you've seen this before?
Don't listen to it! I was in a room. And I woke up. And that was on the table in front of me.
What, a
With
radio
this
box?
Horrendous noise! And I left the room and everybody was dead. Everyone. My name,
What the fuck? Private, put down that weapon now.
Put it down!
Put down the
Put it
fucking
down!
weapon!
Stop!
Put it down!
That's an order!
Put it down! Get away! Put it
Get back.
Get back!
Get back.
And she hung herself! It's a big whining noise!
Adrian!
What colour were the gates?
Green.
The fuck does that matter?
That is Rostov. You are going to speak on that video.
No.
He's alive!
Jesus Christ.
Sergeant, I can't shoot him.
I'm trying to pull the trigger, but
Oh
it's
my
not
God.
happening.
Oh, my fucking legs! Oh, my head! What's that sound?
So I hope you enjoyed our latest film here at Hex Presents. Please be sure to like, share and subscribe so you don't miss any of our future horror content. And also a big thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. So until we meet again, farewell.